What's up, everybody? It's your boy Wes Grant. You're watching Suburban Nerd. This is the channel where I give my reviews on today's nerd news. But today I give reviews on a movie, and today's movie I'm giving a review on is Venom. And yes, I'm gonna just say right off the bat, I went into this movie with very low expectations. And the reason being is because, first of all, the trailers, they weren't the greatest. They seem entertaining, but they weren't the greatest. Secondly, they held off the screenings for the critics until like a day before the movie. I think it was the day of when the movie came out in other countries. And that's always a bad sign, because movies that have faith in their studios that have faith in their movies screen these movies ahead of time, a week, even a couple days at least, not the day before the movie comes out or the day of the movie. And like that's where like I was like kind of worried, because at first everyone's thought it was gonna be good, but now all of a sudden it's holding off, and that's where the studio messed up. They effed up, because you know what, this movie wasn't as bad as I thought. Because hearing these reviews saying like, oh, it was comedy was weird, it was like Ace Ventura, whatever. No, it was not that bad. And I'm gonna say that, you know what, this movie, if you look past all the critics, all the reviews or whatever, you could enjoy yourself. This movie was entertaining. Now, the movie was not perfect. It definitely had flaws. But I'm going to first start off with the good things I liked about it. First thing I liked about it, the cast. Michelle Williams, loved her. You got Tom Hardy, he was great. And the voice too, like that was one thing I was worried about, because the voice sounded like a bad Christopher Walken's impersonation. Like, hey, what are you doing? Eddie Brock. I investigate things and sort of bad people. And it didn't sound like that in the movie. In the movie, he sounded like a normal ass dude, which I was thankful for. But like I said, I like Tom Hardy. And as far as Eddie Brock, you know what? For the character, the way they changed, because Venom, he's not a nice guy. He's an anti-hero, but he's not even an anti-hero at first. He's straight up a bad guy. He's a villain for Spider-Man, but because Spider-Man's not in this movie, they have to figure out a way how to work this thing out, and that's where they got creative, and they made Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock, he wasn't likable, but at the same time, he did good things. He's reported that he investigated things and tried to, expose bad people. So he was sort of a douchebag reporter, but he was always doing the right thing, sort of like Lois Lane. Lois Lane ain't the best person in the world. She's after that story. You know what I'm saying? She'll take down whoever she gotta take down. She'll do some grimy shit to get that story, because that's what a reporter does. I mean, one of those street reporters. But as far as Eddie, we kind of understood, except for when it came to Carlton Drake, who was in charge of the life, played by Riz Ahmed, and he was like, oh, he's a bad guy. Something's bad about him. And he asked his boss, like, yo, just do this piece. I don't ask you for nothing, just do this piece. Because anything, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you're a reporter. If you give your word you're going to do this, you got to do this. If you say, no, I can't do this, then step away from it. Don't tell me you're going to do this and do something bad. And then at the same time, he actually went and got information, because his girlfriend, or the fiance at the time, Michelle Williams, what's her name? Her character's name was Annie. And Annie worked at the Life Foundation. And he went into her computer, looked up some stuff, some classified files, and then started asking these questions in the interview, which gave away the fact that he got inside information. Of course, you're going to look into it and find out that he's dating her. So he costs her job, and then him by not listening, and then, Drake's a very powerful person. And, one of the lines they said, have a nice life. And you knew that line was going to pop up again in the movie. You know it was. You know what I'm saying? Whenever a douchebag says something to the person, and then the person goes away and then they come back, you know they gotta use it as icing on the revenge. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what happened. And like I said, the character, I'm going off on the thing. The good things about the scene, Eddie Brock. The other good thing is Venom. When we see Venom and Eddie's symbiotic relationship is great. It's like watching a buddy cop movie. That's literally what it is. The back and forth banter, it's like a bromance. And that's where this movie excels, because this was very fun. Listening to the stuff, there's a couple of scenes that actually had laugh out loud moments. One of them was sorry, I had something in my mouth. Like, one of them was when Eddie was like, yo, he was trying to get back into the Life Foundation, but the security guard wouldn't let him. And then he was like, how do we get in now? And then Venom's like, you want up? You see Venom just climbing up that building, and then they get inside. And then the other moment was it's actually in the same area where they're inside the room, and then Eddie's like, how do we get down? And then Venom's like, jump! And then he's looking down, looking how deep it is. Jump cuts to him in the hallway, pressing the elevator button, backs up, and then Venom's like, pussy! And that was kind of the relationship. And other moments was like when he was like, what Venom wanted at the end, he was like, lots of tater tots and chocolates. You know what I'm saying? That's what he wants to eat, like, because he has a craving for that now, I don't know. But the relationship between them is where this movie was great. And I enjoyed watching it, and it was very fun. And, like I said, the action was crazy. You know, for PG-13, it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. It doesn't need all the blood. You could see that he was straight up biting people's heads off, whatever. They just wouldn't show that. And, like, people were dying because him throwing these guys, like, he straight up did the Hulk smash and slammed the dude back and forth and swung him around, hit other guys, and threw him through, like, two those support beams or cylinders inside a building. And you know that dude's dead. And he was just tearing these dudes apart. So it was very violent. But I'm telling you what, man. It's that PG-13 which got this movie to $80 million. Because if it was rated R, I don't think they would have made that $80 million. But being rated R, and because of limits, because, you know, it has to be an adult to have with the teenagers. All the teenagers I know went to see this movie. And that being said, it's like this movie did a good job of that fine line, or they pushed this PG-13 to the heart, to as close as it could get to R-rated. And then, like I said, there's some curses here and there, pussy, whatever. But it did not need to be R-rated. It really didn't. Because for what they showed, like just extra blood or whatever, sure, that would have been cool. But it didn't need it. You still enjoyed the fight scenes when they happened. And then, as far as the other symbiotes, everything looked kind of cool. The CG was pretty good. The Eminem song at the end, that thing was awesome. And then that's where it kind of stops as far as the pluses. Now the minuses. The minuses, it takes too long to see the symbiote. It's like 30 minutes to 40 minutes before symbiote and Eddie Brock are actually together. And how they get together, it's okay, because it's one of the homeless ladies that he actually not works with, that he would see. And if she actually tries to scam this dude, and she takes all the free paper and is trying to sell it to him for $5. And then this dude gives her a straight up 20. And this is what I don't get. This dude at this point, he's homeless. Not homeless. He's unemployed. And I'm sorry, bro, but if you're unemployed, you don't just gonna be throwing around 20s. Sure, you want that karma, but you don't just be throwing around 20s. Give her 5. 10 at most. Throwing her a 20, dog, that's a meal. That's meals for an unemployed dude. You can get some oodles and noodles and last yourself for a week with that $20. Now, you just handed it out like that, bro? I didn't know you was doing so good that you being unemployed, you could just hand out 20s like that. I wonder what you do when you're working, bro. You must be handing out 50s. But that being said, jumping off the track, but in this movie, y'all see what I'm talking about. If you've definitely seen this movie, he hands her a 20, and that's crazy. But this is the same lady that's in like Riz Ahmed's character, Carlton. He's taking up these people and testing to see if these symbiotes would be compatible with them. And his plot is where this movie kind of fails, because his goal is to join humans and symbiotes, because humans are parasites and they're eating up all the resources. So he wants to go out into space. So I'm like, okay, bro, you're planning on getting everybody on Earth into space? A few people? Never specifies. But that's his goal, to get in space, which is stupid, because what would have made this work is if the symbiotes, showing that the symbiotes heal people and heal genetic mutations, and heal, like if your heart or if your cancers, it can heal you from pretty much accident, broken legs. This would have been perfect for him to be like, for us to be sympathetic to him. You know? Because that's what makes bad guys great. When you can understand from their point of view. Even if they're doing a wrong thing, if it makes sense to them and they feel they're doing right and they're feeling like they're doing good, then that's what makes it great. Look at Thanos from Infinity War. He thought he was helping the universe by depleting, like getting rid of half, because we're all using up all the resources. Now, if this guy wanted to help people by having the symbiotes join with them so they can get rid of cancer and kind of heal people and all that, but he was just going about it the wrong way, great, but he wasn't. It was a stupid idea. Going into space doesn't make sense. But Havoc, the other side, when he joins with Riz Ahmed, his makes sense, because he just wants to get off the planet and then bring all the symbiotes back to Earth so they can take over. that's pretty much it. And I don't know how he plans on, because a rocket, it ain't going out the solar system. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think they're from a comet or meteor or something that's floating out there. Now, if he can try and get himself back up there and somehow they can redirect and come back down to Earth, okay. But I didn't understand his plan either, but it made more sense in Riz Ahmed. And Riz Ahmed was, like I said, his villain. He's a great actor, because if you guys ever seen the Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal, Riz Ahmed, he's excellent in it. And this, they didn't give him much. As far as the story, he was just a generic bad guy who just does bad things because he's a bad person. And they could have done so much more with him, but I wish they did, but they just didn't. And that's another thing that failed. Like, so it takes too long for Venom. Riz Ahmed is a bad guy. He's not that good. He's he's a good actor, but it's a generic bad guy that doesn't have any depth to it. There was plot holes, like, okay, when Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock gets away with the symbiote, they don't know who or how they got in there. Dog, first of all, if you're a technology company, I'm pretty damn sure you have security cameras. You wouldn't have to be questioning anybody who did this or who did that. Look at the login. You see that she used her pass to open up the freaking door to the thing. So you're telling me like it took that long? Once you see that this guy gets out and you see that symbiote's gone, just go to the login. Bam, simple. Instead of them going around questioning and having her thinking that she's getting away with it, maybe it just didn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Now, the Havoc against Venom, that fight scene was awesome. It was. And then people complaining like they look too close. One's gray, one's black. No, you could definitely tell the difference in the fighting. But it could be because I was watching it in Dolby, and Dolby has crisper colors and everything. You know, thanks to my AMC A-list. Thank you. And I paid $19.95 for it and get 3 movies a week and 12 movies a month. So I know it sounds like I'm getting paid for them, but I'm not. I just I tell so many people to get on this because you can see all these movies like I do for cheap, for only like Dolby. That was already like $20 just for one night. So you're paying $20 for the month, dog. You can get on. But like I said, going back to the movie, the fight scene between them, it was okay. And there was a funny moment where Eddie was like to Venom, "What's our chances?" He was like, "Probably 0." And then, like I said, I'm sorry, there was so many great funny moments. One of the funny moments, and the reason why he was like, "Why are you helping? Why you want to do this?" He was like, "Well, like you in this world, back in my world, I'm kind of a loser." Which, that was definitely funny. And it makes you understand why he bonds with Eddie so much, because over here he seems awesome, but like back with the rest of the symbiotes, he's not that special. And you can definitely see, because Havoc, he has a whole bunch of abilities that he couldn't even think of, which Venom told Eddie. And like I said, that movie, if I had to give it a grade, before I was at a B+. It was between a C+ and a B-, actually. C+ and a B-. And it's not a great movie, but I don't know. I want to give it a B-. But because this movie wasn't great and the villain wasn't that good, and like I give it a C+. It was above, a little bit above average. It was a movie that you should go and see with your friends. If you like action, if you like some comedy, that's what it is. And if you guys want to see some other movies that are close to this, that are like the whole symbiote stuff like that, check out this actually animated series called Parasite, where this young boy, alien, attaches and goes into his arm, and it can turn into like blades, and then parasites have to fight other parasites whenever they're close. So it's sort of like Venom, and there's a lot of action, and they have it in English dub, so you check that out. It's called Parasite. And then another thing is this movie called, what's it called? It's called Upgrade. With actually a guy that looks like a bootleg Tom Hardy, like a broke Tom Hardy, but it's good too. It's a computer chip goes in the back of the guy's head, takes over his body, and basically makes him do like kung fu and all this stuff. And if you guys want to check it out, like I said, it's pretty good. And then the last thing is this. Like I said, those are the 2 movies, or animated serial and a movie that are like this, and that I think does a little bit better job. But like I said, the fun, the comedy, the characters, I like Michelle Williams, Tom Hardy, even a boyfriend, Dave, I believe his name was, or something. What was his name? David or something like that. As a doctor, he was actually a good character too. So I liked it. I liked the movie. I enjoyed myself. The person I went to enjoyed themselves as well. And that's pretty much it. I'm giving this a C+. check this movie out, watch it. In the post-credit scene, I don't want to spoil it, but except we all know, I'm going to say it's Carnage. That was throwaway. We didn't need that because what they should have did was show, like, after he said his name is Carnage or says Carnage, like, you know, Eddie Brock, a piece of the symbiote jump off and starts walking and crawling and then going into the cell. That's how they should have ended it. Not with him saying, when I get out, it's going to be Carnage. It's sort of, you know, played by Woody Harrelson. It seemed cool in the concept, but it didn't play out so well in the end. People are saying how they loved it. I didn't love it. I loved the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse little thing all the way at the end better. And they, like, it just did more for me. I know sacrilege, but the Carnage, you know, post credits, it wasn't anything because they should have showed at least. It was kind of cheesy at that. I thought it was cheesy. I'm sorry, but it was. But that's pretty much it for my review. If you guys want to talk about this movie with me, comment down below because I want to see who else liked this movie as much as me or who else didn't like this movie, and just tell me why you didn't. Remember to put on those notifications, like this video, remember, subscribe, check out my last movie review, check out my playlist of movie reviews, and remember, I'm Wes Grant, you've been watching Suburban Nerd, and you've just been notified. Catch you guys on the next movie review.